Hello, my name is Retromoviegirl, and I am here today with my favorite childhood books. These are children's books that I read when I was 12. My mother gave them to me in a set of 6. So they are called Great Illustrated Classics, and I'll be putting the website where you can get these because they're still available in the description below, along with the synopsis of each story will also appear in the description. So if you want these books for yourself or for your kids, you can buy them at the website listed below. The first one I want to talk about is Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. This is a book about a spunky, spirited little girl. She kind of reminds me of two characters, one character, and she also reminds me of Shirley Temple because of her spirit. And what happens in the story, as a basic synopsis, a farm couple wants to adopt a young boy, but instead they get this red-headed, spunky little girl, comes to their town and lives with them, and soon becomes the town's little darling. Kind of like, any Shirley Temple film from like the Depression era, kind of like that. She's red-headed, spunky, and has a lot of spirit, and you see things like her going to school and doing just the average little things and going on little adventures. But these are fun for like little kids, or if you grew up with these books and somehow you lost copies of them, you can get this copy. And every copy, because it's illustrated, it has nice black and white with sharp lines, pictures. Let me see if I can find one. Like this per se. It has nice, well-drawn pictures so that you can see all the characters. And these are adaptations, not originals, so they're easy for little kids to read. So, it's not the original, but it's just as good. But I plan to reread these. All of these will get rereads, and this video will act as a playlist introduction. So stay tuned for the rest of these books. And the illustrators of the covers, their names are on the back, along with the synopsis for all of them. So that is Anne of Green Gables. The next one is The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. Yeah, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. This is about I think we're all familiar with this. It's about a young man who doesn't want to do his chores and proceeds to get the townspeople to do his chores for him. It's a Mark Twain classic, and it's really, really entertaining. I even like the part where he's supposed to paint the fence, and he gets the first young boy, to do it for him. And he says, I even have 2 paintbrushes so you can do it even faster. And before we know it, every little boy in the town, or every little boy he can find, or every little girl he can find is helping him paint this fence because he doesn't want to do it. And it's one of his chores. He's one of the earliest versions of Dennis the Menace I can find, because sometimes he makes trouble and causes trouble for himself and for the kids in town. But I really like this one. Reviews for this is coming soon. The next one is Around the World in 80 Days. This has to do with a $20,000 wager that gets out of hand. the guy that makes the wager says that he can travel around the world in 80 days, and it has to do with a detective, an Indian princess, criminals, and this all takes place before the advent of airplanes and high-speed travel. It's really adventurous, really fun. I'm looking forward to rereading it. And I think this is also a movie. If I can find any information about anything else about these books or these adaptations or other adaptations, I'll also put them in the description below. But this is by Jules Verne. It's a really fun adventure going across. And to see how the wager turns out, you're just going to have to read it. The next one is King Solomon's Mines. King Solomon's Mines is about some men. They travel to search for this treasure that may or may not exist. They run into frozen tundras, deserts. They may be killed for their troubles. Who knows? Review for this coming post haste, but I really love these books as a kid, and I'm hoping I'll enjoy them again. But that's King Solomon's Mines, A Dangerous Adventure. Love adventure books. And King Solomon's Mines is also a movie. So, that's King Solomon's Mines. Can't wait to... I don't exactly remember what happens in all of these books, especially this one. I keep forgetting that I even own this one. When I go through all these, I keep forgetting that I own this one. So this one is will be especially fun to read because I don't remember anything that happens in this one. So that's King Solomon's Mines. The next one is Black Beauty. Black Beauty holds a special place in my heart because I not only have this copy, but I have another copy that's a Barnes & Noble edition. It has a dust jacket. I think it's blue. I haven't seen it in years, but if I find it, I'll add it to I'll make a different video about it. But it basically tells the story of Black Beauty, all the jobs that he has, what happens in his lifetime, the different owners and the friends that he makes on the farms where he lives, and what happens to his friends along the way. And it's just, it mainly talks about the cruelty of horses at a certain time in history, how they had to wear the regalia to keep their heads up, how they had to walk. And you'll get a chance to see, if you read any version of this book, you'll get a chance to see how that really turned out. And it's told from the perspective of Black Beauty when he's young and when he's older throughout his lifetime. It's a really, really eye-opening book. It's written by Anne Wells, who I think wrote it when she was ill. It was dictated by her mother. If I can find any information on that, I'll also put it somewhere in this video down in the description, or as a thing in between. I'll put more information somewhere. So that's Black Beauty, one of my favorite books, and one of my favorite movies as well. I think there's a 1991 edition that is done by a British actor, but I will see what I can find out about that and put more information in the description. And the last one in this video is Pollyanna. Pollyanna is a young woman, a young girl who grew up in the West but is forced to live with her cruel aunt in a small town in New England. She comes from the West, and Pollyanna is not used to other children missing meals or any of the unexpected trials that she goes through. And she basically becomes the darling of the town with her disposition. But frankly, I do think that if this was a modern story, that CPS or Children and Family Services would have come and take Pollyanna away because it would have been considered abusive. But overall, she has a lovely disposition, and she doesn't really see the bad, or she doesn't really worry about things. Things just roll off her back. But I think nowadays Pollyanna has a negative connotation. It's about people who don't necessarily see bad and only see good, and it has a negative connotation, especially today. If you're not aware of what's going on, or you pretend like nothing is really happening, you get the label of Pollyanna. Yeah, the label of Pollyanna is not really a good label to have these days, because you have to be aware of what's really going on. And I think Pollyanna is just about optimism, the same kind of optimism that Shirley Temple had back in the day. And if you can find any of those Shirley Temple films, I recommend you watch them, especially now. They make you really happy and they make you want to smile. So I recommend that you watch them now if you can find them. And there'll be more videos about all 6 of these books. And if you want to tell me in the comments what books you had as a child, what you enjoy reading now, tell me in the comments. And I hope that you like, subscribe, and comment on this video or any videos on my channel. And I'll talk to you very soon in my very next video. Bye.